Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and this is a show I've been trying to do for the past couple of weeks. It's just things are just crazy around here. Anyway, this is going to be a summary of my testing of the ANTOP over-the-air TV antennas, both indoors and outdoors. You've seen my videos, you've seen my test results. This is kind of going to be a summary. I want to let you keep in mind that your test results or your usage results will vary because there's so many variables. I do not have a great location for these antennas, but I did find a good spot that will get me a bunch of channels, and I'll talk about that later. A lot of variables. Weather can modify your results on a given time or day. Again, antenna location, whether you can use an indoor antenna or an outdoor antenna, things like that. So I tested these antennas in kind of two different conditions. One is I tested the indoor antennas, the indoor and outdoor antennas. Indoors, I couldn't get them in a window that faces the direction of that antenna farm, I'll call it. So indoors, they were terrible. Outdoors, they worked a lot better. The little indoor antennas, I could get up in a window, and I showed you my setup in my office that the window points east, and therefore I could point the antenna southeast towards that antenna farm. So that's kind of my setup. Okay, here's the summary. And I made this list by going to the ANTOP website and adding each of the antennas I tested to my cart. So that's a listing, gives you the information about the antenna and the price, and I'll tell you about my test results. All right, we'll start with this antenna right here. This is the AT221BV, called the Arrow. In my spreadsheet and videos, I call it the Arrow. It's $69. Now, all these antennas go on sale off and on, and they are available on Amazon for reduced prices. So keep that in mind. So this is kind of their normal price. It did, let me look at my spreadsheet here. It received 23 channels. Now again, keep in mind, it's got that tree between it and the transmitters. So that's impeding what I can receive, and weather conditions on the particular day that I did the test. So it got 23 channels. The next one, the AT210 little ring antenna, it did really well. It's only $20, and 210 did 42 channels. Now these are channels that came in perfect. All these, when I say received channels, they came in perfect, no dropouts. These antennas would receive more channels, but they would have dropouts. And maybe a different time of day, they wouldn't drop out. But I said, for this test, they got dropouts, I don't count. Moving on. So that worked out fairly well. It's only $20. So for an indoor antenna, I think that was my best. Okay, here's the next one. Another indoor antenna, the 211B. It's $35, and the 211B received 36 stations. So the 210 received 42, this one received 36. That could be just the variations the day I test. Now we move to the outdoor antenna. This is the first antenna I tested. I tested it indoors. It's indoors and outdoors. In my setup, indoors, in my office, couldn't get it near the window, so we had to go through a wall. It did very poor, very poor. I moved it outside, had it mounted outside between the trees, so it had a pretty clear, about an 80% shot to the antenna farm in South Tampa. It received a whopping 118 channels. Now keep in mind, it's $170, but it does go on sale. The next one is the 406 BV. I think I got the black. This is the dark gray. I think it's called the Big Boy. Sells for $120. It received 97 channels. Again, outdoors. I used it outdoors. Did pretty good. Okay, the next one is another indoor antenna, AT133B. Sells for $29. I received 44 channels. This is a very thin, paper thin antenna. Again, I was able to put it up in the window in my office on the second floor. Now I'm looking, okay, did I skip this one? I'm sorry. This is what's called the UFO. It's the AT415B. It's omnidirectional, $117.50. It received 94 channels. Now, I like this antenna because it's omnidirectional. And I have transmitters that are at different directions. I have one transmitter that is north of me, I have the cluster of antennas that's southeast, and then I have a transmitter that's directly south of me. There are some other antennas further, probably 65 miles or more due east of me, which is in the clear. There's no trees in that way, in the way. I was able to receive one transmitter, but it had dropouts on the given day that I tested it. So I like this antenna. Okay, I think that's all that I've tested. Hopefully I didn't confuse you in my summary. Overall, I like this if this would work for your location. And there is a page that they show you where you're at and where the transmitters are. I'll see if I can get to that page real quick in a minute. But I like this one. It's only $20. Easy way to try over the air TV and see if it's something you'd like to do. Then the higher priced outdoor antennas, I kind of like this omnidirectional one. It was second number of channels received. Again, there's variables. Another variable is sometimes the transmitters are not transmitting all their channels. They might have 8 channels, and some time of the day there's only 6 of them being transmitted. So that will change the channel count of reception. Now let's see if I can get to, let me try here. Trying to find the page, signal maps. Oops, there it was. They have this page. If I can get it to open. Waiting. There we go. So you put in your address. So I'll put in my address, and I should have done that. Okay, and then you do a search. And here's the map. So if I zoom in here, here's where I live, and here is the antenna cluster that I was talking about, south of Tampa. And then there's an antenna down here, and there's some other ones close by, and then there's one north of me, and it doesn't show these further out. You can go to Rabbit Ears and get a listing of stations further away from you. So that's it. I hope this was not confusing and of some help to you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.